Hola mi gente. Alright, so there is a lot to be talking about on today's video. We're going to be diving into Ford stock and some very bullish, extremely bullish things for this stock moving forward. Now, quick disclaimer, I am invested in this company through Leaps. I've been invested in this company for quite some time now. I posted on the Patreon in early January about this opportunity, and this opportunity has been very successful for us. My $5,000 position is now worth close to $30,000. And even though the stock has had a tremendous move to the upside, I am not selling. What I am doing is I'm holding my calls and I'm selling covered calls against them. This is an options trading strategy called a poor man's covered call. So I'm collecting some premium while I wait for the stock to make another move, which I think is going to occur in the upcoming year. Because there are a lot of catalysts and a lot of very good signs for this stock right now, which we are going to cover in this video. Now, before we do that, just know you can get 2 free stocks worth up to $2,300 by signing up with WeBull. And this channel does have a private Patreon, which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you access to spreadsheets and much more. It's $5 a month. It helps support the channel, and I really do appreciate it. A link is provided down below. But with all that being said, I don't want to waste too much of your time. I just want to go straight into the facts. We are going to go over 3-4 things. There are many more things to talk about, but these are the things that I decided to talk about on today's video. Now, the first thing, and probably the biggest thing, is that the co-chair of this company, William Ford, who is the great-grandson of Henry Ford, the founder of this company, has acquired almost 2 million shares through the exercise of options, which is valued at $20.5 million. Now, that is a huge purchase. That is a ginormous stake in the company, and he has not bought shares in Ford since 2019. The funny thing here is that Ford right now, as a share price, is at a 20-year high, and he's still buying a ton. So that shows confidence in the company and confidence that the share price can continue to go up. In addition to that, what makes this extremely bullish is that when you exercise options, there is a cost to do so. He paid cash to exercise these options instead of selling some of the options that he's converting into stock to cover that cost. So he's putting money out of his pocket to exercise these options and increase the stake in his company. Extremely bullish at a time where the stock is at a 20-year high, has a bunch of catalysts coming up, and to show this amount of confidence in the stock, it's extremely bullish in my personal opinion. So that's the first thing that I wanted to mention in this video. Now, for me, Ford has a bunch of potential in the EV space because of the F-150 Lightning and also that EV Transit van. Both of those products, both of those vehicles can be used for commercial purposes. And I think the commercial sector is going to be a big one for Ford. If they are successful and they can convert some of these commercial customers over to EVs, that's going to be huge for their business. Because right now, there are not a lot of products that people can rely on to run a business. And the F-150 Lightning and the EV Transit van could potentially be 2 of the biggest vehicles in that space, and that space is quite large. Well, Ford announced something that I think is going to help them in these efforts, and I think it's very crucial for this company to expand and focus on this sector. The commercial sector, selling fleets and all that stuff, even government contracts. Ford has announced a charging program for commercial customers. This is going to include software and hardware to get them to change over from traditional ICEs to EVs, because it is a big switch and it could change the dynamics of a business. A business is going to want to feel like they're going to be okay. They're still going to be able to operate at full capacity, and it's not going to cost them a ton of money. Well, this program will help them through that transition. It will help with the hardware, setting up the hardware at the business location, or if an individual employee takes the vehicle home every night, setting up those home chargers. They are also going to be helping with the software, so a business can plan appropriately. With this software, they'll know how often they need to charge, when they need to charge, what vehicles are charged and which ones are not. They will be able to run their business just like they did before, and that's the important thing with converting people from ICEs over to EVs. Now, the last bullish thing here, and this isn't even Ford stock, this is Rivian stock, which had a pretty decent IPO. It went public at an extremely high valuation. And the reason why this matters for Ford is because Ford has a 12% stake in Rivian. And they said they don't plan to work with Rivian anymore. They're going to focus on their own thing, which they should, because Rivian is a competitor to Ford. But that 12% stake is big and massive and very important. The reason being is because, as you can see with Lucid, Rivian, and pretty much any other EV company, it's not cheap to run a car business. It's not cheap to start from scratch. Ford has an upper hand because they have a bunch of factories already. They've been doing this for a long time. They know what to expect. But money talks, and when you are transitioning to EVs, money is going to talk and money is going to matter. So what they're going to do is they're going to eventually sell out of their stake in Rivian. And if they were to do that today, sell out of their 12% stake, well, Rivian is worth around $86 billion in market cap, and that would correspond to $10 billion. You ask yourself as a company, what can you do with $10 billion? Well, that is a lot of cash, and that can really help out with your efforts in increasing your EV production. And I ultimately think that's what's going to happen, because $10 billion can do a lot for a company like Ford and help them be an even bigger player in the space, which eventually I think they're going to be one of the top players in the EV sector. So with that being said, we have three things, right? We have insiders buying a ton of the stock. We have Ford focusing on their commercial customers with that charging program. We also have Rivian stake at around $10 billion right now if they were to sell. And the last thing that I want to mention real quick is that orders are very strong for the F-150 Lightning. So strong that Ford right now has to close their book on the F-150 Lightning. They cannot take on more orders. So it seems that people want the product. Hopefully the product is good, it delivers, customers are happy, and we continue to see more and more orders. But with all that being said, that wraps it up for this video. I thank you so much for your time. If you like this video and the content that I am providing, please consider hitting that subscribe button, ringing that bell, and smashing that like button. Also, don't forget about those free stocks on WeBull, and join the community by joining the Patreon. A link is provided down below. I'll catch you all on the next video. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And this is We Are Investing, and together we are invincible. See ya!